It is common knowledge to anyone within the walls of Luskan that there is a pact between the Arcane Brotherhood, the Assassin's Guild, and Luskan's appointed by force government. Just how far this alliance goes, and why, is something that only the very top of those organizations understand. To get to the bottom of this, it is important to first discuss how Luskan was founded. Luskan is a city that grew up around a port geared for pirates. The city is so far north that farmers often cannot grow enough crops to support the local inhabitants. To bear the burden of importing food, Luskan taxes everything that arrives from more harvest-friendly areas like Neverwinter and Waterdeep. Luskan legalized its thievery in the form of taxation, but often that money does not go to the needs of food for the people. To compensate during harsh winters, the government will often contract the Assassin's Guild to kill merchants outside the city walls who are unwilling to part with their food wares for under fair market value, and the guild will slip that food back into the city walls. When the merchants are scarce, the Arcane Brotherhood will slaughter entire hamlets around the city to decrease the population, steal any food supplies they have, and sell off the property to new travelers running away from their homelands with no questions asked. All player characters in this one shot are disgraced lieutenants of a particular Lord's Alliance city guard. Whatever they did that caused them to flee their post is incredibly bad. So vile, in fact, that each character has a significant bounty on their head. Each character has to report to the Dungeon Master what their city was, what happened that caused them to abandon the city guard, and what story they tell people while they're on the run. With no place to turn, the player characters have found shelter as low-level henchmen in the Arcane Brotherhood and live within Luskan city limits. A cold winter night, a few months after the last PC made it to Luskan, the Arcane Brotherhood made it appear as though the city's food stores had been ransacked and pushed the government to slaughter a hamlet even though there was no famine. The Arcane Brotherhood wanted wares of a Harper adventurer who had given up adventuring after an expanded excursion to Chult. The Harper traveled to Luskan and intended to wait out the winter before traveling to Silvery Moon. The Arcane Brotherhood had to fabricate a story to keep the Assassin's Guild from taking an interest in the Harper's possessions. That night, 5 high-level wizards entered the town and laid waste to everyone. Each of the PCs replaced the town guard that night, refusing entry into Luskan. In the distance, the horror of the dead hung on the air with green clouds of poison lifting up in huge bellows that overshadowed the dark of the night sky. Before dawn, one man, clutching his son in his arms, pleaded for entry. His wife was dead. His son, showing signs of a green pestilence, drooped on either side of his arms. Large gaping sores could be seen even from atop of the city walls. The Arcane Brotherhood had provided you, the player character, with a home after your terrible deed. You could not repay that kindness with disloyalty. You did hear rumors that there might not be a scarcity of food, but starvation is a much harder death than disease. To the man's pleas, you turned a deaf ear and pretended to hear nothing. The Arcane Brotherhood's upper echelons were disappointed to find out that the one person they intended to kill, Sebastian Barnhollow, had survived. But he had abandoned his rented homestead, and the Brotherhood claimed everything that they desired. Surely Mr. Barnhollow would be dead by morning. A man driven to the brink of insanity will often take the wrong turn in life. For Sebastian, this was that night. The great old one, Zargon the Returner, appeared before him. Sparing his child was the only thing Sebastian wanted. Zargon's requests were not so simple. With Zargon as his new patron, Sebastian spent 3 years developing his powers, delving into the darkest caverns and dungeons to amass a great deal of magical acuity. Somewhere along his adventures, Sebastian changed his name to Adrian. He spent his time in Silvery Moon building up a reputation to be the absolute knowledge and authority on the occult. His knowledge was so in-depth that he was given a letter of nobility by the High Mage Terran Hornblade, and was granted an opportunity to purchase a small parcel of land southwest of the city. With his new name and reputation, Adrian has requested the Arcane Brotherhood to build him 2 non-animated shield guardians to watch over his estate while he is away. The Arcane Brotherhood, eager to gobble up the funds as well as place 2 constructs of their design in a tactically advantageous location, agreed. The players are sent to this desolate mansion deep in the forest southwest of Silvery Moon with a caravan containing themselves and 2 lower grunts of the Arcane Brotherhood. The party makes it to the outer gates of Adrian's mansion, the gates wide open, but not wide enough for the caravan to pass through. Each guardian is being held by 4 of the Arcane Brotherhood as they walk from the gate to the front door of the mansion. We will be streaming this adventure live on October 29th between 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Time on both Twitch and YouTube. Details in the description area below.